Islanders Penguins, Mario. Let's talk about it. Islanders took Game 5 from Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh, Mario. They won 3-2 in double overtime. This was a really great game defensively, Mario. Game 6 is going back to New York. It's on tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So make sure you go check that out when that happens tomorrow. So let's get to the stats, Mario, real quick. Start off with the Islanders. Josh Bailey had himself a goal and assist and 3 shots on goals. Anthony Bellaviller, he had himself a goal and 4 shots on goals. Jordan Everly, he also had a goal and 3 shots on goals. And Jean Gabriel Pegu, he had himself an assist and 3 shots on goals. Nick Leddy had himself an assist, and so did Leo Komarov. And Ilya Sorokin, Mario, he did a really good job as well. He had 48 saves out of the 50 shots made by the Penguins altogether, which is a save percentage of 96. So he did a really good job back there at the goal, Mario. Now let's get to the Penguin stats real quick. Brian Rust had himself a goal and an assist and 6 shots on goals. Evgeny Malkin, he had himself a goal and 4 shots on goals. And Sidney Crosby had an assist and 3 shots on goals. And Chris Letang had himself 2 assists and 1 shot on goal. And Tristan Jarry, Mario, he had 25 saves out of the 28 made by the Islanders, out of the 28 shots made by the Islanders. And it's a save percentage of 89 or .893. Let me get to the box stats real quick, Mario. Shots on goal, I already talked about. The Islanders had 28. The Penguins had 50. Face-off percentage, the Islanders had 47.5 compared to the Penguins 52.5. Power play, the Islanders had 2 power plays, didn't make 1. The Penguins also had 2, but they ended up making 1. So they had them beat on that. Both teams had 4 penalty minutes. Hits-wise, the Islanders had 47. The Penguins had 46. So it was a very physical game as well. Blocks-wise, the Islanders had 13. Penguins had 9. Giveaways, the Islanders had 11. The Penguins had 12. And takeaways, both teams had 8. So overall, Mario, when I look at this was a very even game. Like, I look at this stat sheet and nothing is like, the only thing that's basically blown out is the shots on goal, which I'll get to that in just a second. But overall, Mario, it looked really even, aside from the shots on goal situation. Now, let me go to that, okay? 28 shots on goal. I'll give them credit. It got them to win. As for the Penguins, you shoot 50. The least you can do is get 1 of those. I mean, they got 2 of them in, but you shot 50 times, only got 2 goals in. I mean, I don't know, Mario. I don't want to fully. I don't know what to say, Mario, because Sorokin's a really, really good goalie. He's one of the best goalies in this game. He's done an absolutely amazing job at the goaltending net, and his saves are insane, Mario. They're really good. But come on, at least sneak 1 in that net. Out of 50, the Islanders only shot 28 and they won that game. Yeah, it went to overtime. It really came down to who was the better team. But at the end of the day, you shoot that many times, the least you can do is get more than 2 goals in there. I mean, come on now. Something's got to give. But overall, Mario, there's one guy, again, I got to give credit to the Islanders for, and that's Sorokin. He did a really good job. He saved 48 shots out of the 50 made by the Penguins. So he did a really, really good job. As for the Penguins, the Islanders just took 1 from you in Pittsburgh. Now you go back to New York. You got to take 1 from them in New York and force a Game 7. That's what you have to do. That's what needs to happen. And you know what? I think now the Islanders lead the series 3-2, Mario. They won this game 3-2. Now they lead the series 3-2. They go back to New York. They have a chance of winning the series. So I do expect them to go back to New York tomorrow and take the series from Pittsburgh. That's what they need to do. But overall, Mario, one little glaring weakness I have for the Islanders is the power play. Of course, they had 2 of them. They didn't make a couple of them. Didn't make any of them, actually. So they need to capitalize on that. Penguins made 1 out of 2, so I'll give them credit for that. They only missed 1, but at least they made half of what they got. So I'll give them credit on that. But overall, Mario, I look at it, and the Islanders are doing a really good job. It's kind of hard to point out a weakness, especially for I'll say one weakness, and that was defense. Sorokin just basically carried that team and helped them win that game. But other than that, Mario, offensively, they're doing a really good job. Defensively, they're doing a decent job. Could they be a little better? Yeah, they went to overtime, but at the end of the day, they're holding their own ground, and that's really what's important. So with that being said, again, Game 6 on tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. It's in New York, so Islanders do have the upper hand on that. So I do wish both teams the best of luck moving forward. Not too much luck because one of you guys has to face the Boston Bruins in the next round of the playoffs. So, but as of right now, best of luck to you guys, and we'll see what happens, Mario.
Yeah, Nate, you basically covered everything. When I'm looking at this, Nate, and I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Penguins, first of all, guys like Brian Russ have really been doing a great job keeping the Penguins in this, and guys like Jeff Carter and Sidney Crosby, guys who are really making an impact in the beginning of the series, they haven't made that same impact during the series. I mean, regardless, Crosby, I believe he had an assist, correct, this game?
He did. He did.
Yeah. And other guys like Letang. Letang was a guy too that in the early part of the series was a big factor, but these guys just aren't factors anymore, But Brian Russ was the one guy that stayed a factor for the Penguins. Another guy who has just been consistently good in this series is Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey's been doing an amazing job for the New York Islanders. Offensively, he's been keeping them in this game. And I got to give Josh Bailey a lot of credit, because he has been consistently a part of this series and been a big impact on this series for the New York Islanders. And another guy is Sorokin. Sorokin has done a great job at goalie for the past couple games. They were down 2-1, and Sorokin is a big reason why they're still in this. And not even still in this, why they are ahead now in this series. So when I'm looking at this, I look at these stats, Nate. If we didn't know the score, we could it looks like the Penguins probably won this game. But I'm looking at this, Nate, and I'm looking at some things that the Penguins are not doing. And at the end of the day, it's capitalizing. They're not doing that. Like put it this way. In the second period, you guys outshot them 20-4, okay? But for some reason in the second period, you guys were tied. In some reason in the second period, you guys only had one goal out of 20 shots. You need to capitalize on that more. They only had 4 shots on your goal. Again, there were only 4 shots taken by New York. There were 20 taken by you. That's 16 more. Okay. You should have had at least another goal in that second period, in my opinion. Now, regardless, I know Sorokin is a great goalie. I understand that. But again, offensively, you need to take advantage of all these shots. Okay. It's good to be aggressive. Don't get me wrong. It is. But you also have to be accurate as well. You got to capitalize on all those plays that you're getting. And they're not, and that's something that they're just not doing, Again, everything else is even regarding hits, blocks, like giveaways, takeaways. All that is even, or it's one team, or it's one more by another team. Well, blocks, it's 13 for the New York Islanders and 9 for the Penguins, which again might have been a factor as well. But look, I mean, you won face-off percentages 52.5 to 47.5. So you had the puck in your possession in the beginning for most of the time, but you just didn't capitalize on anything. Again, power plays, 1 for 2, great job. And they had 0 for 2. You need to capitalize on all these aggressive shots that you're taking. And that's something that the Penguins are not doing. So if I'm coming into game 6, okay, in order to stop the New York Islanders, if you're going to be aggressive, you got to make your shots, okay? You have to have a game plan and be aggressive at the same time. Okay. If you have a game plan, but you're not as aggressive, you're not going to get as many goals as you wish. If you're aggressive, but you don't have a game plan, you're not capitalizing on as many goals as you wish. So you need both of them together to have a great game. Tristan Jarry, I felt like he could have did a little bit better. I just felt like Tristan Jarry wasn't his best game. But I mean, again, you're coming into game 6. It's so far still besides game 4, I feel like this series has been pretty even. It's been a very close series. Obviously, game 4, we remember it was like a 4-1 win by the Islanders, and this one's 3-2. So if I'm coming into New York as the Pittsburgh Penguins, be aggressive. That's good. Keep that up, but also have a game plan. Okay, have Sorokin off balance a little bit and start getting some shots in. If I am the Islanders, what I'm doing is this game alone, okay, I say the Islanders need to be more aggressive. That's what I'll say. I think the Islanders need to be more aggressive. They won this game in double overtime, great, but I think they need to be more aggressive with their shots. And I just think that they need to be more aggressive and they need to score more. You don't want to see this team keep going into double overtimes because that's going to exhaust them coming into the Boston series if they win. That's going to exhaust them pretty badly. So if the Bruins have a nice little break, they're probably practicing right now for whatever team. They're probably looking at both films. But if I'm the New York Islanders, look to be aggressive and look to have a big win in New York. Simple as that. Because if not, if you go to double overtime, then your players are tired. Some of them might get hurt. It fatigues them. And then you got to go into the Boston series and you're starting off, and most likely you're going to start off bad, So with
the
that
Boston Bruins are an extremely aggressive team too. You don't want to be doing that.
Right. It just adds on to whatever soreness that you have from that Pittsburgh Penguins series. Excuse me. But you know what, Nate? I mean, with that being said, I wish the Islanders and the Penguins the best of luck in New York for Game 6. Again, this has been a very good series. Um, but yeah, the keys for this for the Penguins is again, have a game plan with your aggressiveness, and for the Islanders, be more aggressive. It's just as simple as that. And one more thing for the Islanders, capitalize on the power plays. That's something that you have to do next game. But with that being said, I wish both teams the best of luck in New York, and we'll see what happens in Game 6.